The social media reaction is split into two camps on the result. Either this was a start and a first clean sheet, or it simply wasn't enough. It was against the bottom side. We have to get 3 points from this kind of fixture. Whatever your opinion, we're going to look at the tactical elements discernible of a game that was certainly short on quality in the final third from both sides, 11 days after Roy Hodgson was appointed alongside Ray Lewington. Prior to the game, Watford had conceded on average 2 goals per Premier League match. So how were the team organised to come up, away with that first clean sheet of the season? It seems apparent and hardly surprising that Roy and Ray have been drilling the players on solidity and compactness in defence. Here, from an early Burnley goal kick, all the outfield players are in such close proximity, approximately a 20-yard square, that any second ball will be contested immediately. It should be noted, of course, that Burnley are in the same areas. We effectively are trying to out-Burnley Burnley. Not thrilling, I grant you, but when conceding 2 goals a game, compactness is very much what the doctor might order. An early free kick gave us a chance to see a dead ball defensive organisation, and the ball was far wider than the last goal conceded against Spurs, but the team felt more organised and refused to drop deeper than the penalty area. Against Spurs in the 96th minute, we had sat on the 6-yard line, making it very difficult to defend. Here, Sissoko heads away, demonstrating an increased intensity and single-minded focus when it comes to stopping the opposition. Here we can see the distances maintained between midfield, which was echoed by the back line. This is the traditional 2 lines of 4, kept tight and compact to not allow an easy passing option forward. Burnley could have looked to switch the ball to the opposite flank, but Burnley often play more direct, and so the resulting pass ran through to Foster and goal. As the Burnley attack became more advanced, the gaps between midfield and defence naturally become more condensed, and we don't worry about the ball moving wide, instead defending narrow, effectively smothering any forward ball or shot at goal. The defensive organisation will have pleased Roy and Ray, no doubt, but the attitude with which the team focused on the defensive tasks will be even more pleasing, I suspect. The difficulty with both teams playing with such compactness is that chances are kept to a minimum, and as has happened to Watford a lot this season, individual errors can be the difference. Here, Cathcart slips as the ball is played through. However, Femenia, his close proximity and alertness sees him cover for his teammate. The Spaniard has often been seen, for his attacking tendencies, which see him caught out of position. But here he shows the benefit of the compactness and the attitude to stop a chance against us. Here we defend again, as Burnley build up from the left back. Once again the Clarets are forced to play long, and this time Cathcart intercepts, but the midfield gap is too large, and therefore Sissoko is beaten to the ball by Stevens. Here, Kuchka, who had his best performance for some time, wins the ball and plays the ball to João Pedro. The young Brazilian runs at the heart of the Burnley defence but loses possession. The ball to Kuchka is very obvious from the camera angle, but we must note that Pedro is really attempting something entirely more creative, and his high failure rate throughout the game is kind of a reflection of that. Burnley, with a new 6'6" forward in Westhorst, coupled with Hornets up front, Burnley tried to play off the Netherlands forwards' flick downs, and here, when through, it is again pleasing to see Cathcart and Camara's determination to limit the Ivory Coast player to a shot from a wide angle, which Foster parried behind for a corner. Not a tactical note, but a great effort from the Watford supporters in attendance, who made themselves heard throughout in support of the team on a really, really unpleasant night. A news media channel described Burnley as lucky when Lennon stopped the ball going over the line from a corner, but this was in fact where he had been positioned, and an example of Burnley also making themselves hard to break down. Stevens collected a yellow card for this action on João Pedro, and the resulting free kick brought up the most contentious moment of the match. But before we look at that, it is worth mentioning and noting that Stevens was very fortunate not to receive a second yellow in the second half. The free kick was played in by Foster, and from the resulting second ball, Sema passed the ball infield, only to have it blocked by Roberts' outstretched arm. The referee blew half-time, and VAR's decision was that Paulson should not reconsider his decision, which seems more than a little odd. So, whatever your opinion on the result, the performance will have given Roy and Ray some comfort that from a defensive point of view, they are making progress. But games against West Ham and Brighton coming quickly in what we all hope will be better weather conditions will still be challenging. The coaching will have to take a look at the cutting edge of the pitch now. But for those understandably disappointed that we didn't win, it is worth noting that of our 23 Premier League goals scored this season, that our starting forwards had only contributed 7 so far. With the hopeful re-inclusion of Dennis and Sarr in the next games, we must hope that the newfound defensive solidity is repeated and indeed improved, and that we start troubling opposition defences further forward.